Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I should shut my office door. Joe is sleeping. I don't think he'll wake up. And if he does, maybe he'll walk in. I don't know. I am doing another kind of late video because I want to tell you about my night last night. It was a very different night for me. Went out with Joe to an AA banquet type thing. I'll explain that in a minute. I had a surprisingly nice time, and I just thought I would share that, but I'm also here to give you an update on the little quilt. I worked on it today, but then I got brain fried, and I edit as I go with those kind of videos, and I could tell I was losing steam. I felt the soul being sucked from my body. I have it like put together and sewn all around. I haven't turned it yet. I'm going to finish it up tomorrow. And I just knew I wouldn't have time to get it all done tonight. Even if I got the little quilt done, I still have to take pictures and measure and create an eBay listing and all that. I want that all ready for when the video goes up so that you guys can start bidding on it, whoever wants to take a chance on that. So that should be, let's see, what's today? Sunday. Should be Monday, but it will eventually come out. In the meantime, I just wanted to fill you in on my night. So you know that Joe went through a rough few days, and we think it's because he had started on some meds. Please, I can't stress enough, please stop saying that I need to be taking care of him. Trying to explain why that's not a cool thing to say makes me sound like I don't care. And I care deeply, very much. I also care about Joe and his wants, his own particular needs, and I'm going by what he says and does. That's the best way I can help him through all of this. Remember, 2 months ago, I wasn't in his life. I wouldn't have been a lifesaver for him because I wouldn't have been with him had I not met him, right? So he would have gotten along however he needed to get along without me. And 2 months ago, he wasn't in my life. I don't need to have someone come into my life that I enjoy and have it uproot everything. That's not the way things work. We're together because we enjoy each other, and I really think, respect each other so much that he expects me to not change him. I certainly expect him to not change me. Unless we want to be changed in some way. I don't see that either of us are asking for that. You know, the seriousness of a disease doesn't determine the effort that is needed to fix that. There is no fixing. There's just living with it. And I think people should be allowed to live the way they want to live, especially if they're sick. You know, I have a little oddity about me that I eat carnivore, and some people have a hard time with that. They think I'm killing myself. I actually watched a video of mine that was 4 weeks into my carnivore way of eating, and the comments are still turned off on that one. When I turned comments on, I didn't turn them on every fucking video I have because I didn't want to be, you know, getting 1,000 comments on old videos every day. So I kind of just started, you know, out like a little while ago and turned those on. And then, of course, the ones moving forward I have on. But I was reading some of the comments, so I know what some of the people had said. And I just know I had so many people just, you know, stressing how horrible it was that I was eating that way and how I would be dead soon and that nobody can survive without vegetables and all that stuff. And that was 7 years ago, this month, 7 years ago, November. I started in November of 2016, I don't know, maybe toward the end of November, something like that. And, you know, if I went by like, oh my God, everybody says that, so it must be true, I probably wouldn't have stayed on this journey. But I listened to myself, and I want those in my circle to do as I ask. And I don't ask much. I don't say you have to eat like me if you want to live with me. I don't ask for much, but I do usually have to, especially when somebody's new to it, remind them that no, that fruit isn't meat. Because I know people want to think that fruits or vegetables are good for you and all that. Well, how about a banana? Bananas are good for you, potassium and all that, but it's not meat. Stuff like that. If I say to someone, just please let me make my choices. Let me just eat, and don't feel uncomfortable eating the way you eat in front of me. It's just, yeah, okay. All right, eat what you want. And at the beginning, Joe thought it was a little odd, and he felt weird eating in front of me if he was eating a piece of cake or whatever. But I think he quickly adjusted, and he doesn't give me shit about what I should be doing, and I don't give him shit about what he should be doing. It doesn't mean I don't care, but it's not up to me to decide that. And I promise you, I will not just let him pass out and, stop breathing. We're doing what we need to be doing. And he's fortunate, I think, that I'm willing to help him like I do. Because some people would just walk away from that. But I think I was meant to take care of people. But I refuse to do that. I refuse to be the one in control. He's in control 100%. I'm doing what he says. And so many people seem to think that he knows nothing about this. People will suggest simple things like if his sugar goes low, he needs to eat something sweet or drink something with sugar, a soda or orange juice. I can't wrap my head around the thought that there are people who think that someone who's been on insulin since age 5 and is 57 now, do they really think that he doesn't know these things or that I don't know these things? These are the first things he taught me. And it's almost insulting. I don't know. Do you think if somebody is a diabetic who needs insulin and they made it from age 5 to 57, he has to be doing something right? He's not just completely ignoring his illness, because he wouldn't have lived this long, I don't think. So everybody, please just assume that we know what we're doing, or that he knows what he's doing. I don't know everything. Today's the first time he started showing me how to use the, what does he call it? The pen that he gets the insulin. He shoots insulin in his body. So that hasn't been a problem at all where I had to give him insulin. It's always been that his sugars were low. And everybody's different. And there's times that he'll have 1 drink of orange juice with added sugar and he's great. And there was one time it took 3 tall glasses of orange juice with sugar. Don't tell me now that that was too much. Please just, I'm going to have to probably turn the comments off on those videos when I talk about Joe, because it just gets to be too much. It gets to be too much. And it's stressful. Stress isn't good for diabetes. Stress isn't good for me, even without diabetes. So I'm just, please think about it and don't be concerned. Some of you have known me for a very long time. You really think I'm going to let Joe just die? I'm going to do what I can. And if I see that there's, something really, really bad going on, I will call an ambulance. Doesn't have to be really, really bad. I will call an ambulance if I feel that it's my decision at that moment to make that call. But if he's lucid enough and, just saying, try this first, or, please don't call, because he and I both know those trips to the hospital can just be a complete waste of money and time. And, it's, I don't know, because he's been to the hospital many times in his life, and he knows what it's like, and he should have the right to say, you know what, I just don't want to go. It's his choice. Okay? But yeah, so it depends. At some point, I might just have to turn comments off on those videos. I'm not sure yet. And it's too bad, because there are a lot of supportive people, very supportive, who understand what I'm saying and agree with it. They don't have to agree. I just like if somebody understands and not try to make me feel like shit, like I'm doing a horrible job, and certainly not making Joe feel like he knows nothing about what's going on. It's insulting. And he tries to, give me answers to reply to people, and I was like, Joe, the people who are saying these things, I'm trying to explain to him, the people who are saying these things, I think they lack some common sense. And there's no sense in me trying to explain to every person who says something against what I'm doing, or against Joe wanting to do things his way or whatever, and then coming out and saying things that are just ridiculous, like he'll need some sugar if his sugar is low. I don't want to take my time to explain things like that. I do explain to some, because I'm hoping sometimes somebody will read the answer and then not ask the question again. But a lot of deleting on those videos, a lot. Okay, so I didn't want to take long because I don't want to do a lot of editing. Last night, Joe took me to a birthday group. I guess AA, every group, once a month, they celebrate birthdays of sobriety. And people get a coin, and everybody brings food for a buffet. I have been to 2 of those. So last night we were going to one. I didn't know it was going to be a big thing. It was like several different chapters or groups or whatever they call it, and going there, and there was going to be 44 people getting their birthday coin. Not all of them were there. And so I told Joe, I want to make something. So I had a box of pasta shells that I have for when I make Derek pasta salads, and we had Velveeta from Joe having Velveeta, and then we brought it here to my refrigerator. So I made some mac and cheese, and it was just fun, and I was like trying to think of all the different things, and I knew that wasn't something I could eat, and so I'm going to try to come up with some carnivore options, so I'll know that I can have something better than sliced pepperoni and cubes of cheese. And we went, and there was going to be a sketch, and the sketch first, and then the coin awards, and then the eating. So we sit down, and I know everybody knows Joe, and some people haven't seen him in a long time. And I even joked in the car, I'm like, I bet somebody will come up to you and say, I haven't seen you in like 20 years, but they'll remember him. And sure enough, a woman said, oh my God, you're Joe. I haven't seen you in like 20 years. And I laughed. And she was a sister of one of Joe's friends back then. And so one by one, I see him, people coming up to him, shaking hands and wanting to talk to him and asking him how he is. And, Joe had a really rough past. I'm sure someday, he'll talk about it. And, but people treat him with respect, and they are interested in him and what he's doing. And, it's just really, really cool to see how people react when they see him. It makes me know he's a good guy, and even back in his drinking and drugging days, he made friends who ended up, a lot of them died, but a lot of them have also cleaned up, and their friendship remains. And so a man and his son, saw Joe and asked if he could sit with us, and we said yes. And then another man asked if he could sit with us, and we said yes. And then a man and a woman, a couple, asked if they could sit with us, and we said yes. And they were all so nice, and I just liked hearing them talk, and they talk about old times, and those stories are, it's just, stories that you don't normally hear around a dinner table. And it's just so like normal and casual, and everybody is so accepting, and I'm accepting. I was never a drug addict, but I had serious trouble with alcohol and with eating and with also having a rough life, abusive in many ways, especially as a child. There's no measure of like abuse. Abuse is bad. It's just bad. Do I feel Joe had it worse? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that doesn't take away from what I went through. You can't say, well, I had it worse than you, so you shouldn't feel bad about your life. No. I think he had it worse than me, but he is the first to say, I had it bad. You also had it bad. Don't compare. You have your things, I have my things. And he is helping me in ways to, little by little climb out of that trauma. And I'm just trying to, always work on that and finding more peace. Anyway, so talking to all these people is so encouraging. And some of them haven't been sober long, and they're old. And some of them have been sober and then off, and then sober and then off. But I just think this is such a nice group of people. And I feel like I belong with them. Because I felt weird going to AA, being sober 23 years, but not having AA be part of that journey. Just a tiny bit at the very beginning, and I didn't like it. And now I just go because Joe asked. He asked me to do something with him, and I said yes. I thought he was here. And we've gone to a few different meetings, and I have some that I like better than others. I absolutely loved this gathering. There was a lot of people. I mean, I don't know. There could have been close to maybe 75 people, maybe more. I mean, it was a big place, and it was packed. And it felt good to be part of making something to bring. Then there was the skit, which lasted an hour, and I enjoyed it. They sang, and it was just kind of funny, and everybody seemed to be enjoying it. And then when the people get their coins, see, it's going to make me want to cry right now, because they couldn't talk much because there was so many of them. But, they started the people who have 1 year, all the way up to, I can't remember, and I don't know if that person was here, but there was somebody like 40-something years. And it's just so encouraging. I'm as happy, even happier. I think everybody is thrilled for the person who gets their first year, because it is, definitely harder in the beginning. You don't know, especially if you drank for a long time, you don't even know what to do as a sober person. You don't think you know how to do anything. You don't know if you can go out, or, the first thing I did sober was a family gathering with my husband Andy's family, and I was like, how am I going to get through that? And I got through it, and it wasn't fun. But I didn't drink. I just sat in a chair, and I wasn't all talkative because I didn't know how to talk as a sober person, and I didn't think I'd be entertaining or interesting, and I wasn't entertained or interested in what anybody had to say. But I sat there the whole entire time and then went home and said, I cannot believe I'm not drunk after a day with a family. I just couldn't believe it, and that felt good. So it was worth the agony of getting through all that. So I understand what these people are going through at the beginning. Some might have had really bad times. Some might not have. Again, it's all different. But I kept telling Joe, I am so happy to be happy doing something other than going out dancing. Because you guys know that was becoming like a crutch for me, or an addiction almost. I didn't want to be home alone, so I was like forcing myself at the end to go dancing, and then I really wanted to cut back on that. And Joe feels like he's the one that's taking that away from me, but I'll have to show him one of the videos before I ever met him that I really wanted to take a step back from that. And I have been telling him, this, Joe, this is what I was searching for that I didn't even know I needed. I knew I wanted a man in my life who I could do things with, but I didn't. Okay, the battery was dying out. I don't know where it cut off. So I'll just start, because I don't feel like editing, to see where I left off. I was saying that I wanted to meet a man, that Joe felt like he is responsible for me not going out dancing as much. That's why even when he was sick, he was trying to push me, go out, go out. I don't know if he's afraid that if I lose that part of my life that I will resent him. I don't know. I don't get that deep into it. But I tell him, look, if I wanted to go dancing, I would go dancing. I want to be here with you right now, you know? And so when we went out last night, I couldn't tell him enough how much I enjoyed it. And then I was telling him, this is what I was looking for that I didn't know I needed. I knew I wanted a man. I knew I wanted to be able to go out and do things, but I wasn't really sure what I was going to go out and do with that guy. I figured, you know, maybe he'll like to do something that I'll like to do, or we'll have something in common. I had given up hope on going out dancing with somebody because I just didn't think I was going to find a dancing man, and I didn't, and that's fine. But then when I started going to this with him, and I get to see how many people love and admire him, my Joe, you know, is popular in his world, which wasn't a good world, but goodness came out of it, not only for him, but for others. I just think that's amazing, and I can't believe I get to meet these people who climbed out of the pits, and in some way, again, I want to make it, you know, like I didn't suffer as much, but when you're suffering as a child, I think it's suffering. I think I have permission. I can give myself permission to say, yes, it was still, it was it's hard to say. It sucked. So I do have that in common with these people, and there's a connection there. Now, some of them assholes, I'm sure. There's assholes everywhere. I'm sure I'm looked at as an asshole to many people, but I enjoyed it, and I wanted Joe to realize that you're not taking me away from dancing. You're saving me from having just that one thing to try to get my mind off my boring life. And he's bringing me into another world that I'm going to make new friends, sober people. And I even thought that I even could possibly want to be involved in one of those plays at some point. Isn't that funny? Skylar auditioned, and I'm not anywhere near there, but I'm thinking that, good God, it's not that hard to do. I mean, it's a lot of practice and things. It's November. They've been rehearsing every Friday night since April, and now they've done this at a lot of different meetings. But I thought that would be kind of fun, something to do if I can get along with everyone. And but for now, I'm just happy to go to these. Definitely the birthday parties. I want to go to that one every month because it just was so nice. I just enjoyed it, and I think I did a pretty good time talking to people. And I mean, I did leave there feeling very stupid because, look, this is how things go for me, right? One of Joe's friends, he said his girlfriend, I don't know, older people, he said her name to me, and I wanted to remember it, and so I repeated it. I'm going to make up a name. This is not her name. I don't want to name names of people in AA. Let's say, how come I can't come up with a name. Let's call her Gertrude. Oh, Gertrude is over there. She'll be, come Gertrude, we're going to sit here, or whatever. I got to hear her name. And I said it repeatedly because I thought I'm going to start learning it right now because she's going to be sitting with us and I don't want to forget her name. And so when she came up to me, she came and gave me her hand, and I shit you not, I said, "Hi, I'm Gertrude." And then I said, "Oh, I'm not. You are." Oh my God. It's moments like that that make me never want to leave the house. And then I felt like I had to explain that. And I tried to explain that I had heard her name and I was trying to remember it. And so that's the name that came out. And I felt stupid about that, though, the rest of the night, and hated myself all the way home. I still don't like that I did it, but I'm hoping maybe they'll forget. Anyway, I hear some noise. I think Joe has done his nap. He wanted me to wake him up at 6 so he could still sleep tonight, and I think I kind of forgot that. But I'm just going to say bye. Just wanted to let you know that I had a good time, and I'm anxious to do it again. Don't even.
Talking bad about me.
I'm not talking bad about you. I said awesome things.
I'm just talking bad.
I'm not. I can't. There's nothing bad to say. Don't come here again. And yes, he has pants on. Okay. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.